up? So for some reason, the first time that I recorded this video, the audio didn't catch. And I don't want to give you guys crappy quality video, so we're going to redo this whole podcast episode. So for the very first episode that has taken me at least 4 to 5 times, welcome to the Chatty Matty podcast. Who is Chatty Matty? I am Chatty Matty. And I chose Chatty Matty basically because I love to chit chat. I love to talk. I'm pretty sure the universe, when it was making me, the first character trait, they were like, just can't shut up. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about what it's like to have 5 podcasts and this feeling like this is the one that I'm going to have fun with because of the motivations and what I've learned from past experiences with other creative projects. And then we're going to move into what it's like not having a, at the moment, structured full-time job just because I'm transitioning from one career field into the next. It's not really a big change in career fields, and it wasn't really a career thing. It was like a little gig. I'm going to talk about that because I think a lot of people can benefit from knowing that you are going to go through change, and in actuality, change is pretty good for you, especially in careers. And then that's going to tie into the last topic, which is going to be all about being lost in your 20s. To start, let's talk about why this particular podcast, Chatty Matty, feels like it's going to be the big one. I think it all comes down to the motivation that I have with this podcast. Before, with the other podcasts, which were titled Thoughts of a Whore, Shut Up It's Tea Time, and I had another podcast too before, I really saw those as like money-making opportunities. But recently, what we've been seeing in the culture is that if you make something with the belief that it's going to be something that is more on the end of a financial thing that you maybe gain money from, but you also want to be able to remember that people are going to be observing, judging, and very much either enjoying or hating what you produce. And the way that I see it is that if you are not accommodating or even acknowledging that there are people that are going to be absorbing and processing what you create, the money is not going to be there. Because you can definitely be like, huh! Best podcast ever, right? But if the audience is like, well, what do I gain from this? Or, oh, like, I don't really relate to this podcast. There's no point in you trying to make money. Your audience is going to be like, I can't be this person. Or this person's life is very, You want to be relatable. And so that's why my intention with this podcast is to literally just have people on that we can talk to, something entertaining, because I truly think we are entering an age in which people want to feel human connection. Because mark my words, mark my words, mark my words. If we don't check ourselves, AI is going to take over. And I am not going to be talking to a robot. I promise you that. Like, you know, in those sci-fi movies where it's like that one dingy person that's like cloak over their head and they're like, yeah, the robots. That's very much how I'm going to be, because I don't trust AI. I don't trust Grammarly. I'll trust. Grammarly, I will be like, yeah, girl, edit my shit. So it's very much, this is why it feels like this podcast in particular is going to work, just because if it wasn't for my shift in terms of what my intentions are for this podcast, I would have just, this would have been another one where it's like, it's whatever, because the result I'm looking for is money. But in actuality, the result that I really am looking for is just people enjoying my stuff. On to our next topic, not having a structured career or a full-time job as a 25-year-old who is living alone, master's student, so many bills. What is it like to not have a structured full-time job? This is that you do still kind of get the high school FOMO of, oh my god, I wish I was like with other people. But then because I'm an adult and I live by myself, I very much will be like, oh, I wouldn't go there. Or like, oh, I wouldn't do that. And that's kind of the beauty of not having a job, is that you have so much downtime to reevaluate your life, just in terms of what you want to do, what you want your future to look like, who do you want to keep in your circle, who do you want come into your circle, leave your circle, the whole thing. And I think that just comes from, one, not having to work either 8 to 9 hours for 5 days a week, right? And also having the autonomy to just do what you want when you want. I think it's these experiences that, privileged, like upper class people get to have, where it's like, oh my God, I don't feel like going to brunch today. I'm going to stay home and paint my toes. That's the luxury we should all be getting and we should all be receiving from the universe. But sometimes it doesn't work out like that. And although it may be scary to, not have a stable income in terms of what is my next paycheck going to look like or how many hours do I need to work? Because I still work a part time job. It's definitely a lot more rewarding when I realized that Carl Jung, I believe, or was it Paulo Coelho, basically said that if the path is clear for you and there's no challenges, you are on the wrong path. And why is that? Well, it's probably because you are going based off of what somebody else already went through. Think about it, right? If the path is already clear, someone has already cleared the path to make way for other people. And if you continue to go down that path, of course it's going to be easy. You're going to be relaxed, but you're never going to grow as a person. You are never going to expand beyond what you already are in the moment of starting the path. Now, if you were to look at the path and be like, ooh, girl, that looks easy, but it just doesn't feel like me, it's the moment that you have the curiosity of, ooh, what if I take the other way? Or what if I make my own path? That's when you will go through things like this, where you definitely see other people living a life that you want to have, but then you're like, oh. You try and do the thing that they're doing, and intuitively you know it feels wrong. That is because you're on the wrong path. I also know that like a lot of the stuff that people buy or do is literally just to feel included. And I am of the level of thinking that I am not gonna go fucking buy something just because other people have it. Like the whole Labubu thing, right? I don't get it. There is a whole store where I live or near where I live that sells Labubus. And I'm like, that's a lot. That's a lot. Like comic books or anything of like an umbrella thing with where you can have like little stuff, perfectly fine. But like a Labubu store, I'm like, that's a trend. That's a trend that's gonna die. You don't need to be having one single fucking store for that thing, right? And it's the same thing for having like a career or like trying to make the one thing happen, is that you are trying to fit in so other people don't look at you sideways or talk about you, or it's to help you soothe that anxiety of the thinking of, oh my god, they are talking about me, or oh my god, like they are going to say these things about me. You don't know that, but you think people are going to say that about you because we've been conditioned to believe that if you're not doing X and Y, you're never going to get to Z. But the thing is, you can do X and Y, and it may be a different Z from somebody else's Z, right? So for me, that was like a thing that I learned in terms of not having a full time career right now in the moment. I do have a couple interviews, don't worry. But just not having it off the bat and having to sit with that uncertainty and sit with like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm not gonna sit on my ass all day. I'm not gonna like, do drugs all the time or drink all the time. You need to do something with your life. And so it's in these moments of you have the potential to either just waste away or you can do something with your life and try and carve the path, keep going no matter what. I would say choose this one, because even if your life and the career isn't there yet, you will keep getting to that career. I promise. It's something that, adults tell you. And as, at least for me, when I was like in my early 20s, when I was like 21 or 22, I'd be like, no, you guys don't know shit. And now that I'm like 25 and my prefrontal cortex is developed, I'm on my way to 26, which is like 4 years away from being 30, right? Like, it's very much like, holy shit, like, it's true. Like, you can plan for something 1000%, but it's never going to go that way. It's never going to go that way. And it's truly something that I think you have to really acknowledge. Is it what you really want? Is the thing that you want ever since you grew up the thing that you want? Is the thing that you went to college for the thing that you actually wanted to go to college for? Because I guarantee you, like, there are some weird classes in college for a reason, because professors know that there are some people who think like them, where it's like, hey, people might not think the psychology of serial killers is cool. I think it's cool. But if I can at least attract one person, that's when I know as a professor, hey, there are other people who are saying, I actually find that interesting over, what everybody else is studying. And that's what it's like to not have a career job. Is just you have to sit with yourself and really think, fuck, is it what I want to do? Or is it just, am I doing this particular career or trying to live this life because society and the world told me or, made me believe that I had to do those things. The minute you give yourself that autonomy and ask yourself that question, life will be so much better. I promise. Because I'm at that point now where it's like the scary parts are there, and I know that they'll always be there, but the more that I choose to face those fears and just not really try and be like I'm not afraid, but also not be like, "Oh my god, I'm so afraid." It's like I'm afraid, but I'm going to keep going. It's moments like that where you will grow as a person. And so I can say for you that like not having a career at 25, it's definitely scary. It's definitely something that I think a lot of people should experience because you will grow as a person. And now moving on into more about my 20s, let's talk about being lost in your 20s. Being lost in your 20s is a weird experience just because when you are lost in your 20s, I had this realization today, August 25th, 2025. You will get lost in the weeds, but you're like, oh shit, I found my way. Like I peeked up my head above the weeds and I was like, I can't find it. I still can't find it. Oh, wait, I see something. It's that moment of you found it for yourself. That's what's the whole point of being lost in your 20s. And that's something that I really got to experience and I'm still experiencing right now because I don't know who I'm going to date and I don't know who or what I'm going to do for a career and I don't know this and I don't know that and I don't know anything because I don't have the mentality that I have to have everything figured out step by step by step by step by step. I have my basic needs met. I have enough money in the bank to pay rent, to pay bills, right? I am actively searching for a job that is full time, pays well, that's there. I can clean my toilet. I can bring food to the table for myself and sometimes other people. I can have a little fun. The basic needs are fulfilled. Everything else is just extra. Everything else is just extra. The clothes that you wear, or the car that you buy, or the restaurants that your boyfriend or girlfriend takes you to, those are just extra. Basic necessities of food, water, sleep, fun, play, relaxation. Those are what you should be like, trying to fulfill within your means, within your 20s. You don't have to try and fulfill all those things by trying to live like some 30-year-old. That's not going to work. You can't live like you are raised by rich people as a 20-year-old like college student because that's not going to work. You have to live within your means and the current moment that you're in now because when you can accept your reality at 20 something years old, you can be like, hey, I'm 20 something. I have the rest of my life ahead of me. It's okay if I don't have everything that I want. And it's okay if the things that I do want change. And that is what I think a lot of people, honestly, a lot of people right now just don't do. It's because they're trying to live somebody else's dream when it's not their dream. Like, you want to be rich. Do you want to be rich or is it just because you don't want to feel rejected? Do you want to be in that relationship or do you just not want to be lonely? Do you want to be buying that thing or are you just buying it because you want people to be impressed by you? Because I 100% guarantee you, you sit there and you ask yourself these questions, you will be like, fuck. In conclusion, we talked about why this podcast feels like it's going to be the next big thing for me. We talked about not having a career or a full-time job right now and then being lost in your 20s. So, what do I leave you with? Number one, go forward with your creative projects, but make sure the intentions are always good and there and present. Number two, it's okay if you don't have a full-time career right now. A lot of us don't. The job market sucks. Go for a part-time job. And when you do go for a full-time job, make sure that it is something that you want to actively do. Number three, what is it like being lost in your 20s? You will learn so much. You will love, you will hate, you will experience all emotions, all thoughts. But that's only when you live your truth and you go on your path. Remember, if the path is already clear for you, you are on someone else's path. So I leave you with that. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode where we're going to be talking about how to decenter men as a gay man. Because, ooh, baby, what a concept. But I'll see you later. Take care. Bye.